In this video, you're going to learn the 5-step system that I use to go from single and frustrated to consistently dating and attracting beautiful women and ultimately getting a gorgeous Romanian girlfriend. This system didn't only work for me, this also worked for dozens of guys over the years that I've coached. So this video is for you if you've been studying this woman and seduction thing for years, but you can't seem to get to the other side. Now, I've put together a simple slideshow presentation to show you the 5 steps you need to take and to make this more tangible for you. So, here you are. You're on one side over here and you want to be over here and there's a gap. Now, this is the gap you've been trying to cross and you're thinking, how can I cross this gap? You've tried to jump over this gap multiple times, but every time you jump, you end up on the metaphorical spikes. What you want to learn, and what I learned in my journey, is that this gap is not jumpable. You cannot just jump this gap. Every time you try to jump this gap, you just end up falling short. And that's what you've been experiencing. You've been trying to get this woman thing handled, and you keep jumping, but you just keep falling short. That's because this gap is not jumpable, okay? What you need to do to get to this side is you need to build a bridge. Today, we're going to help you build the 5-part bridge. And when you build this bridge, the same bridge I built after meeting with years of failure, will finally get you to the other side, getting what you want. So this bridge is made out of 5 ingredients. And in this video, I'm going to share the exact 5 ingredients with you. Now, if you leave some pieces out of this recipe, let's look at this as a 5-part recipe. If you leave some pieces out, you're also gonna fall on the spikes. If you try to jump this gap without building the bridge, you're gonna fall on the spikes. And if you leave ingredients out, you're also gonna fall on the spikes. You're gonna fall short and you're not gonna get this woman thing handled. So the first takeaway for you is these 5 building blocks, these 5 ingredients of building this bridge are essential, not optional. Essential, not optional means you cannot skip them. Let's look at the essential building blocks of life. Oxygen is essential. If you remove oxygen, we die. Similarly, these 5 ingredients are essential for you to get from here to here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build this 5-part bridge so that you can get what you want. And it starts by knowing what the 5 elements are. So let's start with the first ingredient, which is definite decision. So what allowed me to break through after years of falling short and hitting up against an invisible wall was one day I got so fed up of failing that I stood in front of the mirror and I said the following thing to myself. I said, no more, never again. I'm willing to do whatever it takes and pay whatever price I need to pay in order to get this woman thing handled. I'm going to keep trying at this. Will help me if I die. I'm gonna die before I give up at this. The first ingredient for you to break through and master this game is you need to make a definite decision. When a man makes a definite decision, it means he's not gonna quit, he's not gonna stop, and it also means he's willing to pay whatever price. There are 3 prices you must pay: time, money, and effort. The first thing that got me to break through is I made a definite decision. I'm willing to do whatever it takes and pay whatever price I need to pay in order to get this handled. As long as you're half in, half out, you're never going to make it at this game. You have to get to the same place that Jad got, where you stand in front of the mirror and you make a promise to yourself, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get this motherfucking thing handled. So help me God. When I made that definite decision, my energy changed. Something about me changed. There was a new resolve in my spirit where I was willing to go boldly toward what I want. As long as you allow yourself escape hatches, you're never gonna get a hold of that boldness that you need to have to attack this game. Let me share a parable with you. There was a commander who was going to sail to a distant land and battle with the enemy. He took all his warriors on the ships. They sailed to this faraway land. And when they landed on the shores, he told his troops, burn the ships. And when the ships were burning, he told his warriors, you see those ships over there? Those were your only way back home. Now, if you ever want to see home and family again, you're going to have to win this battle. Now, because the troops knew that they burnt their ships, they went into the battle with full force and total boldness, and they won the battle because they knew they didn't have any escape hatches. So when you make a definite decision to win this game, you got to battle, you got to burn your ships. No escape hatches, no ways out. I made a decision and a promise as a man to myself, I'm going to do whatever it takes and pay whatever price I need to pay to get this motherfucker done. And this brings us to the second part of the 5-part bridge, which is you need to pay the 3 prices. Any man who has broken through and gotten from here to here paid these 3 prices. When it comes to me, I paid these 3 prices, and every one of my students that went from single and frustrated to now having their dream girls, they also paid these 3 prices. The 3 prices every man must pay to go from here to here is you have to pay in money, in time, and in effort. You have to go out there and try and fail. You have to go out there for long enough to build the skills you need to build, and you need to pay mentors. You need to pay in terms of fashion, fitness, maybe a personal trainer. You have to pay to go out. So it takes money, it takes time, and it takes effort. If you're missing even one of these 3 ingredients, you're not going to make it to the other side. Which brings us to the third ingredient, which is hire a mentor. If you've been stuck, unable to fix this woman and seduction and dating thing for more than 1 year, that means you need a mentor. That means information isn't enough. If you were just missing information, you would have gotten unstuck by now, because I know you've been studying this for at least 1 year. So a definite sign that you need a mentor is you've been studying this for a year or more and you're still not getting the result. That means you have a set of blind spots. A blind spot is something that you're blind to. It's something you don't know that you don't know. If you don't know that you don't know that you're making a mistake, how can you fix it? The only way you can fix it is when somebody from outside tells you, hey, you're making this mistake and that mistake. Now, here's what I've learned after being a coach for over 12 years. The mistake you think you're making and the problem you think you have that's keeping you from getting women in your life is never the problem you actually have. Let me say that again. The problem you think is stopping you from getting women isn't really the problem you have. That's why it's called a blind spot. You're working on something over here like, oh, I need more confidence, when really your problem is something over here like you're not connecting with women. For example, when you come to a mentor, he shows you what your blind spots are. He helps course correct you and move you in the right direction and have you working on the right things that you need to be working on. When I was stuck for years, even though I was studying everything, going out and practicing, getting my hands on every ebook, video course, and I still couldn't break through, the thing that allowed me to finally break through is when I took my hard-earned money and went and started hiring mentors. Similarly, most of my students come to me after being stuck for an average of 3 to 5 years, some 7, some even 10 years, because again, like me, they were stubbornly going at it alone, keeping their fists tight, keeping their money in their pocket, thinking, I'm going to figure this out on my own, until they finally gave up and said, okay, this isn't working. Let me try something different. They came, they hired me, and in a short matter of 3 to 6 months, they got unstuck. They went from here to here. If you're stuck, hiring a mentor is essential, not optional. Let me share a lesson from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill spent 25 years studying 500 of the most successful men in America, and he was looking for patterns of success and failure. Napoleon Hill, after 25 years of studying 500 of the most successful men, said the following. He said, in my 25 years of studying 500 of the most successful men in America, I couldn't find one man who achieved success alone. Let's say that again. After 25 years studying 500 of the most successful motherfuckers, he couldn't find one motherfucker who did it alone. Why are you failing? And why are guys like you failing? And why was I failing? I call it the snowflake syndrome. Here's what the snowflake syndrome is. I believe I'm a unique snowflake who can violate the laws of nature and violate the laws of success. And even though 500 of those guys all needed someone else to succeed, I'm going to succeed alone because I'm a unique snowflake. No, you're not. If you don't hire a mentor and you've been stuck for 2 years or more, you're going to stay stuck. The fourth part of the bridge is having a customized plan. The reason why you're not successful right now isn't because you're not enough. The reason why you're not successful with women is because you don't have the right plan, the right strategy, and the right mindsets. What a mentor does is he provides you with a customized plan specific to your needs. He gives you the right mindsets and he gives you the right strategy, again, customized to your specific situation and personality. You cannot create this custom plan on your own because you're stuck. So you're going through blind because you have your blind spots. That's why your strategies aren't working. Here's what I tell guys. You're not getting women because you're not enough. You're not getting women because you're using the wrong strategy. Okay. Now, this 5-part bridge is actually a strategy of success that has worked for me, worked for dozens of my students, and it's just the formula on how to succeed in everything. So after watching this video, you're going to have the strategy, and then it's just going to be a question of, are you going to take that strategy and actually implement it, or are you going to pretend you never heard it and go and just gather more information and keep doing more of the same? And the 5th part of this bridge that allowed me to break through and get to the other side, and also has allowed my students to do the same in a short span of 3 to 6 months. In exceptions, some take 9 if they're an extreme case, but it's a matter of months, not years, right? Is taking action and getting a feedback loop and then going back to your mentor and having him course correct you. So when I was bumping up against that invisible wall, when I was just doing everything on my own, I was taking action, but then I wasn't getting that feedback loop from someone who was on the other side of the game, who was over here. And so I kept bumping up against that invisible wall. Well, when you take action and then you get feedback and then you go to your mentor and he course corrects you, that's when you finally get to the other side, because that's what exposes your blind spots and exposes the subtle but critical mistakes you're making that are preventing you from getting the women you truly want. This is the 5-step formula that took me years to discover. And once I plugged in all 5 ingredients at the same time, I went from here to here. As I said, these ingredients are essential, not optional. Just like oxygen is essential, not optional. No oxygen, no life. If you don't have all 5 of these, all 5, then you're going to fall short. You're not going to reach the other side. Now, the most common mistake guys make is they say, okay, I'm going to build most of this bridge, but I'm not going to hire a mentor, okay? Because that's expensive. Oh, I'm not going to hire a mentor. That's expensive. I'm going to build the rest of the bridge. How does it end? It ends like this. We said that these are essential, not optional. When you say, oh, I'm going to do everything except hire a mentor, you're basically saying, oh, I'm going to build Earth, but I'm not going to include oxygen. Okay, I'm not going to include that's hard. I'm just going to leave that out. This is what is going to happen if you leave this step out, which most guys leave out. Why do they leave it out? Because they're scared to invest in themselves, because it costs a significant amount of money, and they're betting on themselves, which can be scary. But do you know what's more expensive than hiring a mentor? Living a life of this. Okay? You alone, you watching porn, you lonely, you ashamed, you missing out on your dream girls, and you with your hand for the rest of your life. Let's just be real. This is expensive. Okay? Having to do this to yourself for the rest of your life because you wanted to save a couple $1,000s. Imagine you had your dream girl in your bed. You're making passionate love to her. What would that mean to you? When I ask guys, bro, what would it mean to you to make love to the most beautiful woman? He says, man, it would be priceless. What would it mean to you to have your dream girl? Bro, it would be priceless. Okay, would you like to hire a mentor? No, it's too expensive. No, your life's expensive, motherfucker. A couple $1,000 for a mentor? That's a bargain. That's nothing. Rewind back to my life. When I was stuck, do you think I wanted to pay thousands of dollars to a mentor? No, I'm like, fuck, motherfucker. I don't want to, but I have to because I'm stuck and I've tried everything else. Okay, fine. And I started asking myself this question before I hired any mentor. What is it going to cost me not to hire this guy? What is it going to cost me not to hire a mentor? Oh, it's going to cost me a lifetime of regret. It's going to cost me wasting my youth staying single. It's going to cost me being with my dream girl. It's going to cost me having peace in my soul. When I shifted my perspective and I saw how much it was going to cost me not to hire a mentor, then hiring a mentor became a bargain. I'm like, what? Oh, I just have to pay a few $1,000s to a mentor and he's going to get me women and peace in my soul because I have this part of my life handled? Okay. And then I hired one mentor, then another, and then breakthrough. If you want your breakthrough, you got to hire a mentor. What you see before you hear is the answer to all your dreams. Okay? It's not accumulating more information. It's not trying harder. Put these 5 pieces together, and myself, as well as all of my students, have gotten to the other side because of these 5 specific steps. Don't skip steps. Here's another analogy. If you skip steps, your chain falls short and it just doesn't reach the other side. And again, this is not jumpable. You cannot skip these steps. If you do, you're just going to end up here over and over and over. It's not because you're stupid. It's not because you're not good enough. It's because you're violating the laws of nature. Okay? You got to build a bridge. Everybody that got to the other side built a bridge. When you build a bridge, you're going to get what you want. It's really as simple as that. You follow the 5 fundamentals. All right? If you skip even 1 or 2, you're not going to make it. You got to have all 5. They're essential. So this is the formula on how I went from frustrated up against an invisible wall to getting what I wanted. So now you know the specific strategy for getting to the other side. If you'd like me to be your mentor, click on the link below this video or on my channel page. Reach out to me and we'll see if I can help you. And ask yourself this question. What is it costing me not to hire a mentor? I just gave you the answer. Nobody's coming to save you. You need to save yourself. You need to make a definite decision. You need to pay the 3 prices. You need to hire a mentor, get a customized map, and take action and create that feedback loop. These steps are necessary and essential. Take this formula, follow it to a T, and your life can change. You got this, bro. Invest in yourself. You're worth it.